Yes. Well, I'm feeling really good. No second thoughts. I think the timing is good, and for me personally to leave now, and I'm very proud of what we've done over the past 6.5 years, almost 7 years, and feel like we're in a good place. I think we built a good foundation for the school system to continue to move forward.
And what was the point where you're just like, okay, you know, sometimes you come to that point where you know time's up. What was that point for you?
After the last school board election, and not really associated with the last school board election, but more change there, and just realization that it was 6 years going forward, and it just felt like the right time for me to, and also just personally where I am. I've been a superintendent for 26 years, and I've been in education now for 46 years, going on 47 years, and I had about double the life expectancy of urban superintendents, and so everything felt right. And personally, I was ready to move on to other things. I'm graduating. I'm not. This is not a wake. This is a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, because I was going to say, are you retiring from like just this job, or are you retiring from education altogether?
We're going to stay in Nashville. I love Nashville. We'll be a part of the community here. I don't think I'll ever quit working completely. I do not want to do this again. I think I've spent my time doing this, and I want to do only fun things, only things that I'm really interested in. And so I've got some opportunities, and I'm looking forward to taking a little bit of time to decide what I want to do next.
Yeah. Tell me about what you're most proud of. When you pack up and you leave this building, kind of what are the things?
That's a hard question. I'm proud. I think that the culture of this school system has changed. We've gone from being a system at a stage of state takeover, not much confidence in the community, to an achieving school system. We will be achieving again this year when the test data comes out. That'll be 4 years in a row. And so I think we have taken it to a very different place. I'm very proud of what's happened here overall. When you get specifically, most recently, I am so proud of the early childhood movement and what we're doing with pre-kindergarten here. The fact that we got a $33 million grant when originally the state was not even going to apply for those funds, to be able to grow and improve our program. The partnership that we've developed with Vanderbilt to develop a state-of-the-art program for early childhood is outstanding, and so I'm very proud of that. The high school work has been good. Academies of Nashville are institutionalized now. The new strategic plan's very good. It pretty much exemplifies the culture change. We've gone from looking at systems and the way systems operate in 2009 to personalization, and we're really focusing on how we can be successful for every student in our district. You know, I hadn't thought about the numbers until I was looking at some numbers this morning. When I came, we had about 75,000 children. We're at 85 now, so we've grown about 10,000 students during the 6.5-year period of time. We've become more diverse, and I think we're handling that well in the district now.
And talk about some fun moments. I mean, you've met the sitting president, first lady.
Oh, how can
you? Some like
yeah.
fun.
So 2 years in a row, the first lady, Michelle Obama, came to the graduation at Martin Luther King, and that was terrific. And then to have the president come to McGavock High School to follow up his education comments on the State of the Union was that was a career best point, I think. And I go back to when I came, and one of the first actions that I had to take was to remove the administration at McGavock. It was a school in crisis, and to think about the president picking McGavock High School to highlight for about best practice in this country about where we need to go with public education is a real high.
What type of district, how would you describe the district that you're about to hand over? I mean, so we all know, you know, you came during the state takeover, you know, the state wanting to take over schools and the crisis. How would you describe the district that you're about to hand over right now?
This district is on a solid foundation, and it needs to continue to improve. Continuous improvement is extremely important. I think we've gotten to a place now where we're able to manage the changing community here and grow from that. We're not nearly as traditional as we were. We're really doing some good things to deal with a large segment of our population, our English learners, our students with special needs, our children who live in poverty, and I think we have a foundation for doing that. So we got to continue the work. The new strategic plan is really important, Education 2018, and I think it really gets us to next steps very, very easily.
What would you do over?
What would I do over? I would, I wish the data showed up quicker, the changes showed up quicker, but you really can't expect that in a system like this. The last thing to change is a test score, and I'm not sure. I wish that we could have shown faster change and faster improvement, but I'm not sure that we've taken any missteps that I would go back and correct or try to change.
So you wouldn't change any of the decisions that you've made or anything like that?
Oh,
in hindsight?
yeah. You make decisions every day, and I'm sure there are decisions that I would approach a little differently. But for the big things, I feel pretty good about where we've come.
How about people who've criticized your leadership style, especially on the school board, that is much different than the school board that you came in?
Yeah.
How would you address that?
So
never really addressed that.
Yeah,
issue.
I'm not going to now. Individual school. There are 9 school board members. They're individuals. They have power as a unified body. The fact that only 2 of them are still here from when I came is pretty significant. Sharon Gentry was brand new to the board when I was selected, and Dr. Brannon was the only one who had really been involved in the last search process. I think that it's important for school boards to focus on the right things, the vision, the goals of a district, and also for me. And if I could do something different, I think it would be to say let's push harder to make sure that we've got a common vision and a common focus. I think the work that the National Public Education Foundation is doing right now with the Project Reset is good work. I think that's what needs to happen in this community, and that's for the whole community to come around, not just the school system, but the whole community to come around and look at to relook at what's important, what's most important in Davidson County to advance quality public education for all children.
And do you think that there's been enough community dialogue, that you've engaged the community enough in all of these changes? It's just been such a crazy time for education during your tenure.
Yeah.
At the state level, there's just been so many changes that have trickled down. Do you think the community has been engaged enough in that process?
You could probably never say enough. Engagement. I don't know how you do that enough. I don't know that we have the capacity to do that. But change has been rapid. Changes from the state and changes in this community are rapid. And one of the struggles that we have is keeping pace with that change and trying to be not reactive, but oriented toward the future and toward making improvements.
One of the big things that has changed here in the district is the involvement and inclusion of charter schools.
Right.
Talk about that. What is your stand on charter schools? You've kind of warmed up to the idea over the years.
Well, it's because we have more. When I came, we had 4 charter schools. I had never worked with charter schools before, and I had a full plate. And my position in 2009 was we had 4 and they want to be independent, and I've got so much to do I can't worry about those. I also knew though that in Tennessee and in Nashville charter schools were a reality, and so I hadn't varied much. We have some really good charter schools in the district now, and I support those. They're good schools. They're a part of the district. Are charter schools the answer? Are they the silver bullet? The answer is no. We have to for 150 schools that we have, that's charters and non-charters, zone schools, magnet schools. The goal is for all of them to get better and for all of them to be good. And so, so I think that's what's really important. We pretty effectively deal with charter schools. They are a reality. You know, it's not my decision whether we're going to have them or not. I can't do that. The state law dictates how that process works. I don't agree with everything in the state law, but it is a reality for me. I regret, and you ask about what I would do differently. I don't know that I could affect this, but I regret the polarization. Where I am is in the middle of the road, and I hadn't varied much. I think charter schools have a place if they're good. I think we need to deal with them effectively if they're not good. I do not think that charter schools should take over public school systems. There are people on one extreme that believe that, nor do I believe that they need to go away. I think we have some good examples of good schools here that are being successful, and we need to support those.
And is it
We've got a lot of schools in East Nashville, and I wish they had been spread out more, but they weren't. Now, I supported the East End Prep that was approved the other night because it's a great school, and those children in those schools and the parents want to continue to grow through the middle grades, and they're a good partner. You know, those kids are going to Stratford High School, or a lot of them are, when they graduate from high school, and I think that's good for the public schools and the charter school in that area. So managing growth is a real challenge, and I think one of the problems is that managing that growth is not in the control of the school board, and it's not in control of the director completely. The school board is one authorizing agent. Any charter school has a right to appeal to the state board, and the state board can approve that charter school if they choose to, and operate it themselves and it not be a part of the system. And you have the Achievement School District. So it's beyond. So what happens in Tennessee by Tennessee law is not in the control of the school board or the director of schools.
Do you think that a foundation has been laid now, especially in terms of East Nashville, to pull so many of those schools out of the bottom 25%? That was your goal?
Yeah, absolutely. We got more aggressive this year, and I think we needed to. And that was the purpose of all that work. I think the year in East Nashville and with the priority schools has been very constructive. I think that was positive work this year, and we've doubled down on the efforts that we're making to deal with our priority schools, bringing in new leadership at the school level early in the year, recruiting proven effective turnaround principals. We brought in some great people from other parts of the country, but also internally, who can make a difference in those schools. Great teachers and great leaders are the key. Being able to recruit teachers and putting additional resources in those schools, I think will pay off for us.
What advice do you have to whoever is taking over?
To whoever's taking over, work hard to develop a common vision and goals with the Board of Education. Directors and boards of education are the leadership team, and they have to work effectively together. If that doesn't work, then it's time to change. And I think the board is divided, and that needs to pull together. I hope that Project Reset will address some of those issues and help us get a clearer vision of what this community wants to see in schools. And for the new director, I think, to take all of that in, look at it, see what's going on with that work, and One Nashville. You know, look at the community. This community is a terrific, dynamic community. So whoever comes in needs to take a good look at what's going on here, look at the strengths in the district, and figure out what else is needed. So take some time.
What's the problem with a divided board for somebody in your shoes? Because they're saying, well, I just have an opinion, I'm just representing my constituents, so if I might not go along with everybody, but I'm really just representing a point of view. So what's the big deal?
Individual board members have no power or authority. Power is another word. The individual board members don't have authority. You can't go in 9 different directions. And what's important for a school board to do is to have a common vision, to recognize a common purpose, and to have a common strategic plan or strategy. And that needs to be revisited. What's the vision for the district? What do you want the district to look like? A focus on what's good for children, not adult. Not focusing on adult issues, focusing on what's good for children is what's important. Yeah, I am very optimistic about the future. I think it's come a long way. I think it takes a decade to really have an impact on a district like this, one that's so big and so changing. But I am very optimistic about the future of Nashville and the future of public education in Nashville. I think we really are the IT city. I want us to be the IT school system in the country, and I think the foundation's laid to do that.
That people think about you when they're looking at what you did and what you've done.
Well, that we were able to create a positive change in culture here, and that we care about what's important. This is a cause for me. This is a calling, and it has been 46 years now. It's the most important thing happening in this country. How do we take care of our children? How do we educate them so that they can be successful going forward? Do we care about the youth of our country? And we need to do that. And in many places, I don't think, and with many policies, I don't think that really happens. Let's care about our youth. Let's recognize them as a future. Let's value the worth and dignity of every one of them, of each one of them, and do everything we can to help them be successful.
Cool.